How's it going? Welcome to LifeProof Relationships, a podcast brought to you by journeyOn Coaching. I'm Kylie.
And I'm Christy, and we are a mother-daughter power team. We are both certified life coaches who have made coaching not just our careers, but definitely our way of life. We have lots of sessions and hours of direct coaching experience between the two of us, and we just have a lot to share with you. Our clients come to us from all sorts of challenges and desires for change, and without fail, we ultimately arrive at the core of everything: cultivating relationships.
So if you're interested in exploring ways to transform your relationships to be more loving, nourishing, and dynamic, please join us. Whether we're talking about partners, family, friends, or coworkers, we'll always ground back into the foundation of them all, your relationship with yourself. So this is one of 5 episodes in our LifeProof Pillar series where we present the framework we're developing to collaboratively cultivate deeply connected relationships, especially your relationship with yourself. Each episode in this series is a standalone episode, but to really get the whole picture of what we're sharing, we encourage you to listen to each one. In this episode, we're elaborating on the 5th pillar of a life-proof relationship, and that is opt-in. And to recap the life-proof pillars: 1, choose love. 2, connect to the vision. 3, expand your awareness. 4, nourish. And 5, opt in.
Yeah, so let's dive in. What is opt-in? Well, in its essence, it's the feeling of leaning in, leaning towards, even and especially in the face of the unknown or the uncertain. And we, thanks to Kylie, have a mantra that we like to use for this pillar, which is gift your soul the experience of being alive. Let me repeat that because it's so beautiful. Gift your soul the experience of being alive. And that is truly the essence of opting in. It's like you're being on your front foot and you're stepping forwards towards something in an engaged and intentional way. And rather than hesitantly stepping towards something with your weight on your back foot, defensive and self protective, you're actually leaning in. And since we have a 15-year-old in the house, we get some of the lingo from him, and kids these days like to say, send it. It's like send it energy with a layer of grace, sass, grit, and class. At least that's what we think it is. So, Kylie, what do you think opting in requires?
Opting in is a flavor of your own presence, inserting a level of open heartedness, curiosity, courage, and really digging into your own grit for the way you're showing up to things. It's saying to yourself, okay, this might be hard. This is hard, but it's worth it. I'm worth it. This person is worth it. I'm here for it and I'm all in. It's a choice for how you show up in your life. Having more trust than fear. Notice we're not saying don't be afraid. There's all sorts of reasonable fears to have, especially given the context of how you grew up, your attachment style, various relationship experiences you've had, and what you're currently going through. So we're not saying don't be afraid and don't just like fearlessly bulldoze ahead and say yes to everything. No, this is a deep level of discernment, of choice of your own presence.
Yeah. Yeah. And this looks different for all of us. You know, Kylie, I think that you have a really cool example of a simple exercise that people can do.
Yeah, super simple. It'll take you a few minutes or a while. It depends on how long you really think about it.
Yeah.
So, a simple exercise to find out what opting in looks like for you Take out a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle to make two columns. On the left, write down, a bullet list of moments in your life where you chose to opt in with an open heart, courageous, having more trust than fear. On the right-hand side, write down what qualities you were demonstrating. Have these be one-word adjectives when you can, or hyphenated phrases like patient, kind, generous, seeing the bigger picture. One by one, go through your experiences of opting in on the left-hand column and write down these qualities that you demonstrated on the right-hand column. If you start noticing that you're writing the same thing down more than once, that's fine. That's actually kind of the point. So put check marks next to the adjectives that you use multiple times. In the end, you'll be able to see what qualities are unique for you in moments of opting in. For one person, this could look like calm, peaceful, centered, grounded. For another, it could look like bold, strong, discerning, confident. So it's up to you. I can't tell you what in looks like for you. I can only ask you, how could you opt into this?
Yeah, I really like that, Kylie. And it's a great exercise for discernment. And you can come back to it, do it once and then take another pass through as you think about other periods or moments in your life where you've really just leaned in and said an intentional yes to something in your
Mhm,
life. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, and I wanna elaborate on something where I was saying, have more trust than fear. Trust in what?
Mm,
Trust in the bigger picture, your own journey,
mm.
the universe.
Yeah, some people say God
Mhm, mhm,
or Allah.
mhm.
Yeah,
Or
trust
love.
that yeah, and trust in yourself too, like, trust in your soul that you're
Mhm.
capable.
Yeah, it's like the essence of trust. It's if you think about the way you feel when you're trusting, there's an opening, there's a softening, there's a, um, like, relaxation of fear. That fear doesn't go away. And so that's what yeah, I wanted to elaborate on that because trusting in the journey.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly going through something that's very much has that double-edged sword of fear and hope, and I'm opting into all of it, and it's the scenario around the cancer that I have in my throat, and so I'm choosing to notice what's come into my field or what's, what like literally with a piece of paper in hand or a whiteboard or, writing down like, wow, okay, this person showed up or this modality is showing up and trying to connect the dots and really opting into the what I really believe and feel like in my bones, feel in my cellular level kind of thing. What's right for me? What am I how how can I truly opt into the health that I want to have in my life? And so it's looking like as of this week, it's looking like a combination of Western medicine. So I'm choosing surgery here at Johns Hopkins. I'm actually in Baltimore, Maryland right now. And And I've also been choosing alternative treatments to really give my body the very best chance of success at this surgery for ultimately my optimum health. So, it's it's a tremendously participatory process of opting in. Okay, I'm opting into this. I actually opted out of a surgery in Denver because it just didn't feel congruent. And I decided to have a second opinion. So let me just identify a couple of things around this. You could also be at like a major fork in the road of a transition in your life. You could be moving, you could be assessing a new job or, a complete pivot in your career. You could be getting engaged to your partner. You could be contemplating a baby. I mean, these are the big life things. And opting in, it has a range and or varying degrees of taking the next step to the moment of choosing to be all in. So both feet jumping in with all of you, recognizing there's a whole smorgasbord of emotions that are coming up, and it's all okay. They're all welcome.
So, what steps do you mean? You said there's a couple of steps before choosing to go all in.
Well, the method that I use is, again, flip charts, whiteboards. I am a visual person, so I want to see it, and I want to be able uh, to write out what, truly where I'm at in the moment. Like, what's my current state? What are the resources that I have available to me? Who are the people that are showing up in support? And with respect to my partner, what does he think about it? Where's he at? So it's truly an assessment
Mm,
of a current state of
mm,
where I'm at, and then looking at, okay, what are the options that seem to be most obvious, and what are the obscure options that are just kind of peeking through the details that could be opportunities. And back to the cancer example, that was the whole opting into ozone therapy, ozone IV, was because a dear friend sent me the name of a person that he said, "You've got to go see this person." And this person happened to be in LA. And then I chose to look into it. Okay, I'm going to look into this because I really trust this person that recommended it. And it seems like a really viable and life giving, health giving approach. And then the key here is to actually take action, do something that takes you in that direction.
mhm.
Opt in is actually a verb. You opt in. Verbs need action. So it's not a
Yeah.
passive pillar by any means.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a discernment process.
Mhm.
That's what I was saying, or that's I was mentioning that earlier is you don't just we're not saying just say yes blindly, opt into everything like the movie Yes Man. Trust your own discernment process.
Yeah. And there's a fullness to it. There's like this rich reservoir of, like I said, multiple emotions, and you're aware and you're not pushing any of it away. Like
Mhm,
you're just in this soup of awareness that eventually
mhm.
has options for you to opt into.
So if you combine the the exercise that I mentioned before where you come up with the list of key core character trait adjectives like calm, peaceful, seeing the bigger picture. Like if you create that for yourself of what it looks like for you to opt in, And then you combine that with your discernment process. And once you've discerned your decision, you move forward in a way that opted in for you.
Mhm.
Now you're combining both of them, the discernment
Yeah.
process and your own unique example of your own unique flavor of opting in. Because my
Yeah.
version of opting in is different than yours. It's different than, it's different than other people's, different
Yeah.
than my sister's. And so there's a beautiful like self journey here of what does it look like for you?
I love that. So then, how do you extrapolate this? Because this is really about opt in self. How do you extrapolate this to opt in relationships or opt in partner?
Sure. Hey there. I wanted to take a minute to tell you how you can get life proof coaching from us. It's super simple. Just go to our website, journeyon coaching.com, and sign up for a free introductory session with either Christy or myself, Kylie. This is our passion and it's our way of life. So if you're feeling called to reach out, don't hesitate. We look forward to speaking with you and getting to know you. Okay, so there's an analogy here that I'd like to give, and it's a camera focusing. When you look through the lens of your camera and you like press the focus button and the image comes into clarity right where you want it to,
Hmm.
that's kind of what we're talking about here with this discernment, opting in, intentional presence practice. And so when you do this with your partner, you it's like you collectively focus in on a scene together or an element of your life together. And the clarity of the picture that you can create together is more unique than what you can create on your own. Opting in intentionally with your partner, collaboratively, creatively. What are we opting in together? Well, what do you want to opt into? What do you want to opt into?
Yeah.
What, you know, and
Yeah. And then you
you
just,
go ahead.
yeah, you shift the camera lens like you do if, with a high powered camera. And maybe you want to really zoom in. So you change the lens into a zoom lens. And, uh, and each of you takes a little tweak at the focus. So there's like an iterative, a multi-step approach to it with your partner until you get the picture that you're looking for in the moment. And then as you opt in and you experience things with this new clarity of a vision that you have, then life happens and then you've got to reset the camera again, the lens. So what do you see? Well, I see
Hmm.
this. What do you see? Well, I see this. Oh,
Hmm.
well, what do we want to see together?
Yeah. Yeah. Being really intentional about this as things change collectively together is really powerful.
Hmm.
And it allows you both to intentionally engage with your relationship on purpose with each of your own gifts and with each of your own flavors of presence. And so let me give you an example of something where this can be this is a nuanced example. So say you have a new flame, a new person that you're enjoying spending time with, and it you're this is the first person you're really engaging with after a significant previous relationship that has just transitioned. And being with this person, you're this new person, and you're like, okay, well, I know my heart's in a tender place, and I feel a sense of caution. What opting in this is a personal example, what opting in looked like for me in this situation, what wasn't, "Okay, I'm gonna approach this situation cautiously, nervous, fearful, but I'm also not gonna just bulldoze past my intuition of that's telling me to be slow." And it looked like a moment to moment asking myself and what feels right for me today,
Mhm.
which wasn't the same answer every day.
Mhm.
And actually, something that started to happen was as I got closer to this person, I started having so many flashback memories of of my recent relationship. It's like I was seeing my recent relationship in a whole new light, and it came really a really potent part of my experience, and it became really distracting me from being able to really be present with this new person. And so what does opting in look like then? Do I it because it's not to it wasn't to just ignore all these thoughts of the past that I was having. What it actually looked like for me, moment to moment, what feels right, moment to moment, what feels right. Okay, I need to be honest. And I told this new person, I said, "Hey, here's what's going on for me. My connection with you is triggering a whole nother level of processing my last relationship. And so I really need to do that. And I really need to like slow way, way, way down here and be present with what's showing up."
Yeah, and that took curiosity. It was brave, Kylie, and courageous of you to do that, and I really like the opt-in piece was when you chose to allow what was coming up for you to be present and to actually share it with this new person, not knowing what
Mhm.
the consequences of that might be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I had no idea how they would respond.
Yeah,
No idea.
I really like
And
that.
and so what ended up happening between me and this new person was, okay, let's just be with what is and what comes. And if you need to like, you know, pull away a little bit in order to be present with the layer of processing that's coming up for you, then I'm here for that. How can I support you? And so yeah, he
Wow.
responded in a really great way.
Yeah, that's really great. I mean, that's bringing in I'm thinking of other pillars of, expanding your awareness and then nourishing. You brought
Yeah.
both of those in, and it enabled this new person to nourish as well as you named what support you needed. So it's a great example.
Yeah, and I mean, another little layer of that is for me right now, I've I've stepped back a bit with him,
Hmm.
and I've kind of created my own container around myself, and I'm really what I'm opting into is thoroughly experiencing this level of processing
Hmm.
and really appreciating his presence and support while I do that, but I'm doing that really on my own.
Yeah, and I think that it's really important to point out that life proof self is always present. We live with ourselves 24/7. And so recognizing when we need to focus more on that aspect of self and opt into self, even amidst a partnership. It ebbs and flows. There's there's give and there's take, and and being able to be in a dance like that together is when, you know, partnerships can really flourish, and it takes patience and time. Yeah. So, I have a last example of opting in to family. Is it okay if I head in that direction?
Go ahead.
Okay. Just wanna make sure that you feel complete. Yes? Okay.
Go ahead.
Um, so my husband Drew and I, just in 2020, we were a few years, like 3 or 4 years away from being empty nesters. And then together during the pandemic, we chose to try out multi-generational living in Colorado. And it was intentional. We had lots of flip chart paper up on the wall as we were trying to discern what is showing up for us, what's our next chapter as we're choosing to leave Maryland. And, multiple moves later, we arrived in Evergreen, Colorado before actually landing in a hopefully much more permanent place here in Boulder. And we kept asking ourselves, as a partnership, what do we need to set this up for the best possible success for all parties involved? And with family, I mean, it's complicated. But that pervasive question, what do we need to set what do we need to set this up for the best possible success for all parties involved? And then how do we measure success together? And that's been an active conversation now for, the last year and a half, 2 years, as we've been living together with multiple adult children and our 15-year-old that's in the house and partners. And I mean, it's just, but that initial act of saying, okay, we're going to be all in for this. We don't know what it's going to hold. We don't know how it's going to work, but we can discover it along the way as it emerges.
Yeah, and so that's a really powerful example of putting both of your attentions towards the same thing together and
Yeah.
having the collective power of the team that you are.
Yeah. Cause I mean, it took both of us. It couldn't just be one of us that
Mhm.
opted in. That wouldn't have worked. The ship would have capsized. So,
Yeah. It's like
so lots of,
if you have a boat with rudders or sorry, not rudders, oars, and one side is paddling in one direction and pace, and the other is paddling in a totally different cadence, it's very chaotic and usually kinda go in circles. Or at least not in a predictable direction. Alrighty. Well, let's wrap this up here. What are our takeaways of this pillar of opting in? So, opting in at its core is an energetic presence you choose to have. This isn't just saying yes to everything and involves a deep level of personal discernment. Choosing what you're opting into and what you're not can be a powerful guiding influence on how you show up moment to moment.
so choosing what you're opting into and what you're not can be a powerful guiding influence on how you show up moment to moment with a lot of checking in because the course might change. It often does. Yeah, and opting in is not for those who want nothing but comfort, routine, complacency, or constant moderation. There are consequences and choices in opting in, such that you may need to let things and people go in your life in order to opt in to what is most congruent with your situation and the way that you want to show up in your life and the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with or community that you want to be a part of.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, why is this important for relationships? Opting in really allows you to explore the synergy of both partners opting in together. Choosing to leverage this mindset together, energetically opting in with your full open hearted presence together, you become a very potent and powerful team.
Yes. Love that.
Mhm. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any stories, thoughts, or questions about relationships that you'd like to share with us, feel free to send us an email. Our email is info at journeyon-coaching.com. That's info at journeyon-coaching.com. Follow us on Instagram and send us a DM. Our Instagram handle is at journeyon-coaching. To explore life-proof coaching with us, head to our website and sign up for a complimentary coaching session. Our website is journeyon-coaching.com. If you love the show and want to hear more, subscribe and download the show on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, blessings as you journey on.